Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today I am making, believe it or not, a veal, pecan, and bourbon meatloaf. Doesn't that sound good? That sounds delicious. So right now I have a yellow bell pepper roasting in the broiler. I am literally going to charcoal the skin and all, then we'll let it cool and then we'll peel it and chop it up. Now, I have my grinder here, and I have, right here, which I have to grind up, is 1.5 pounds of lean ground veal and 8 ounces of ground pork, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Once we get that done, we can move on. Keep an eye on your bell pepper, and let me get this going. Munching forward, mixing. You know, I have to get my book out on this so I can remember how to do this. I'll be right back. Okay, I have to read it. As you can see, we want it on and we want to go forward. I'm going to continue grinding this, and I'll be with you when I finish grinding. Okay, I grounded the meat. If you want to know how to roast a bell pepper, you need a broiler pan and one whole bell pepper, and you sit there. I'm watching mine as it's roasted, and you set your rack up high because you want to get close to that broiler. You sit there and put the bell pepper on it, and you sit there and broil it. Watch it because it'll start to charcoal on the outside, and you turn it till you get it well charcoal. That's what I'm doing right now. And what it's going to do is make it easier to peel it. I've already got my ground pork and my veal right here. Now they state that we're going to need an onion, minced, so cut your your onion in half. Make sure you keep the roots intact on it, so when you go to mince it, it will come out nice and your cuts will be level. Remember to leave your broiler door ajar. I'm just peeling onions here. See, most people make a meatloaf only one way with one meat, and meatloaf becomes to be a whole hum meal instead of doing something different or a different meat. Okay. See, here it is roasted. I'm going to put it in a bowl. And I'm going to cover mine with a plate, and we're going to let this cool. And why are we letting it cool? Because it's too dang hot. Okay, here we go. No taffy. We're not going through that this morning. I am cooking. Here. You see, they come out so nice, just about the same size. Sorry, I thought you could see. Beautiful cuts like this. All right. We want 2 garlic. Well, these are so small, I'm gonna put more than 2. You have big ones. I think 2 will be fine, but mine are really tiny, so I'm gonna put at least 4. Because mine are really small. Sometimes you hear me humming. I'm actually humming old tunes. I like the World War II. I like the musicals. There isn't much music I like today at all. I can't even understand them. If I'm going to sit there and listen to music, I want to be able to hear the words. If I can't hear the words, Mick Jagger, like he sticks that mic right in his mouth and sings. Ugh. Have never been fond of them. I used to ask my sons, not my sons, my boyfriends, what are they saying in this song? And they would laugh. Can't you understand it? No, I don't think he speaks English. That's an easy way of doing it. Isn't that nice and easy, mincing? I told you there's different ways of doing things. Okay. I think we're done mincing. I don't see anything else that has to be minced. We have some other things we have to do. I'm not going to get this book dirty if I can avoid it. I've already done it once. All right, how much oil? 2 tablespoons of oil in a saucepan. Well, frying pan, sauce in a frying pan. You want 2 tablespoons? You're going to make me measure this out. I remember when I first started listening to music and I pulled out the old music and my mother discouraged me. She says, no, you've got to find your own music that you like. But I did find the old music, my own music that I liked, but she didn't like it. She told me to buy more modern music because that's your music. I told her, but I like this one. She says, no, you go find your own time and music. So I came to the point where I didn't listen anymore to music. But my husband loved music. He loved blues and jazz. And my mother liked blues, but the singer she had, I don't like this woman's music, but my mother played it every day, that when I hear the music, I can sing the songs. Nina Simone. She wanted to be a Billie Holiday. My husband loved Billie Holiday. And my mother loved Nina Simone. I do not like Nina Simone's music. There's nothing wrong with it. I just got every day my mother would sit in the bedroom and she would sit, or if she was in the kitchen, Nina Simone albums. Crazy world. So I'm not big on music anymore. I was trying to find the niche that I wanted, and my mother wouldn't let me. Every time I brought one in, she told me to take it back. She said, that's not your music. I don't see how it couldn't be. She said, get what I like. going to saute these onions and garlic that you just did. How you got past me. Here's another one. Some of them got past me. Must have been the end pieces. That happened. I'm going to leave it alone. This is called sauteing, which is pre-cooking your vegetables. Okay, well those are pre-cooking, sauteing better is the term. Today, modern chefs call it sweating, but the term is really sauteing, just pre-cooking them, that's all you're doing. Okay, you need 1 cup of breadcrumbs. Don't say anything. I don't have any bread to make my breadcrumbs. I ran out of my own breadcrumbs. The only reason I don't like these is they're not whole grain. Everything's blasé. The flour has no flavor. Breadcrumbs have no flavor. This has no flavor. Then you add a little bit of seasoning, then you get the flavor. No, I want everything to have flavor. How much milk do you want in this? A 1/4 of a cup of milk you're going to add to those breadcrumbs. You want me to squeeze? There's not going to be anything left in the bread. Are you sure you want me to do this? This isn't going to work. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I doubt, seriously. I stirred this is really dry. You can't tell me. See? I don't know what they're calling breadcrumbs. I doubt anything's going to come out of this. Now your onions should be getting more translucent. They're not as solid, I guess is the way you could look before they looked white. When they get translucent, it almost looks like foggy glass, I guess. Okay, we're done with that. There ain't gonna be nothing in that. Yeah, gently squeeze out the liquid. I am not gonna have any. Okay. We're gonna have to peel this bell pepper. Now see how it withered up? Now what you're gonna do is peel it. Look at that, how it comes right off. Just be careful you don't burn yourself. No, I cut my nails and now I can't pull it up. I don't have my nails. I should have not cut my nails the other day, but they were a bit long. I was in the yard and I just got rid of my beautiful nails that would help me peel this. So if you see me struggling, don't cut your nails before you do this. You're going to need them to help grab a hold of that skin. Yeah, I can see you right here. You got to come up. You know what? I'm doing my way. Jesus Christ, this was really, really hot. I usually don't have this much trouble. I take my nail and I can just grab it, but I trimmed mine too short and I just am having trouble catching it. Now they want you to take the seeds out as much as you can. Okay, you still got some here. Come on. Comes off easy. If you have nails, you can just grab it and pull it, but okay. You can actually feel when the skin comes off too, because they're nice and smooth and have a softness about them. Whereas the skin, once you blister it, it's rough and coarse. Just like if you had burnt your skin, you know how coarse it is? That's exactly what happens to the bell pepper as well. Did I get everything off of this one? No. Okay, now we can take care of it. So you want me to go all the way down to the bacon? Okay. Now they want you to mince this bell pepper. It's so slippery after you take the skin off, it's difficult. Put it with your meat. I'm putting everything with the meat in a minute. can see the bell pepper practically falls apart and it's slimy, so it's more difficult to chop. Okay. Now, it told me, this is where I disagree with it, squeeze all the excess moisture out. There is none. But they say squeeze it out. I like my breadcrumbs better than this. Put that in your meat, and we'll start putting the other stuff in it now. Just gonna clean up a little. Measuring spoons here, and we'll start on this. Got the glass here, you're gonna need that for the bourbon. Okay. You're gonna need an egg. You know, he said a big bowl. I thought this was big. I don't know if that's gonna fit in there. 1/4 cup of bourbon, better known as whiskey. They're interchangeable. Yeah, this one's going to get a nice drink. A teaspoon of fresh chives. Well, I have dry, so you're going to get what I have, and that's what you're going to get. How much salt do you want in this? A teaspoon? Yeah, we'll measure on the teaspoon. Teaspoon also, okay, it's equal amounts of salt and pepper. Okay. There's school buses, get them home. I tell you, people are always, they get up late, then they race, they get upset because other people are trying to get to work at the same time. Okay, now we are going to need this chopping board back. How much do you want? 3/4 of a cup. Get pecans. These you want them coarse, coarsely ground. Well, I can't coarsely ground that, or ground it into powder, so we'll have to chop this. So we're going to chop this. You chop it by hand. We're going to do it fine. If you have a spice grinder and you want to put it through, they want it coarsely ground. Mine, I tried that once, and it was powder. But I said, okay, I'm going to have to do it this way. I have some ideas floating around in my head, some new ideas. Could you imagine making an ostrich or an elk meatloaf? What you couldn't put in it? I know you're saying, this is boring. Yeah. Also, with your arms out. But you can see, using a grinder, you can also use a knife and see how fine it's becoming. But not powdery, but coarsely fine. It's almost there. You see how fine it is? It can be done by hand. Women used to do it by hand. This is why they had spent so much time in the kitchen. If they made a pecan pie, they had to get the pecans, they had to shell the pecans, then roast them, and then proceed to make the pie and probably have to grind the flour. So you could see that women spent a lot of time in the kitchen. It's made so easy today. People are so lazy. Coarsely ground by hand, like a spice blender. and it was done by hand. Okay, now I have to get another equipment out. How much do you want? A teaspoon of lemon zest and 2 teaspoons of orange. So this is my orange. Yes, I took the peelings and dehydrated them. Instead of buying it in the store. Did say 2 teaspoons. About 2 teaspoons and 1 of lemon. That should just about do it. That's about lemon around. I sort of estimate when I do that because my mill isn't exact, and I'm learning how to measure. Take your onions and your garlic, and you're going to put it in here. I think we have everything in here now. Black pepper, salt, chives, zest, bourbon, pecans. All right, turn your oven to 350. That's right, I should have put this in a big bowl. We will. They say be careful, do not overwork this. Bourbon smells good in it. My son bought me rum, a light rum, so I can sit there and make pina coladas. But then what happens? The weather gets cold. I'm back in the 50s for a couple of days, but if we get back up into the 80s, I'm definitely going. Maybe this weekend Not this weekend, next week, because this weekend is chilly. No, maybe it'll be warm and we can have pina colada. Notice how I'm mixing this with my fingers? Because they don't want you to toughen this up. If you squeeze it too hard, you're going to toughen it up. So I'm just making sure it's well mixed. Every time I'm going to pack it tight is when I put it in the loaf pan, because I want it to hold its shape. Sandra, take the broiler pan out. Jesus. Pearl? What are you heating that up for? See, even I have my days. Okay. Let me get a loaf pan and wax paper. Yeah, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to myself. I'm going to have going through my head today. Now, if you don't use wax paper and you go to pack this meatloaf in one of these pans, you can't get it out. That's why we use wax paper. This makes it easier to get it out. But for the sides that don't go all the way up, you'll be able to get it out. I shouldn't have eaten that much. Pack it into your corners and flatten out as much air as you can. Because if you don't, when you go to cut it, it's going to fall apart. So you have to have it tight. Yeah, I knew a small. You said get a small one, huh? Now, an old trick is that we grease our pans before we put this in, so when it's done cooking and stuff and you've served it and all, when it comes to the dishes, it'll be easier to clean. That's why you see me grease things, because an old trick, because everything would stick. And after you've been cooking all day, or cooking a meal, you don't want to go in there and be boiling every pot just trying to get the burnt stuff on it, or the food that sticks. You see that? Carefully take this off and pull it. How's that? That's a good size meatloaf. Now, you're going to need about 5 or 6 pieces of bacon. We're going to drape it across this. This is veal. Now, is there anything else you want on this before we go to the sauce? They want the internal, they say cook it in about an hour or an hour. And they want the internal temperature at 160. So that's it. Put it in. All right, that's 7. Be going on 8. Okay, we have to wait. Okay, I finally got to 160, or 165 in degrees on the internal, and here it is. There's the meatloaf. Now, in the next video, we're going to make the bourbon sauce and put over this. Okay, see you in a few minutes. Bye-bye.